train for our playoffs in the loser bracket.
Howdy.
So, before we get the game started, though, who do you think? We do see a 5v6 situation right now, as the captain of Castillo said to do so. But in this situation, who do you think is going to take it right now for Anubis?
Definitely, it definitely could be either way. It depends on what Castillo runs. If they run, let's say, I don't know, a Widowmaker, and they can make constant picks and even the playing field, then it'll be a lot harder for Violent to take advantage of the 5v6 situation that they have at the moment.
Oh, yes, definitely. Although I do think, though, it is going to be fairly close, even though it is a 5v6 situation, and with both teams ready, I'm going to start the game. But I do think, though, it's going to be a little closer than what most people would anticipate. Looking at Anubis, though, we do see a lot of different comps running this. Mainly it's two comps, especially for the defending team, for violent tendencies. You'll see a lot of, like, maybe even Bastion Zarya, Bastion Orisa comps, I'm stupid. Yeah, a lot of bunker comps on the defense. I've also seen, a counter dive comp, where you run, like, a Winston Genji Tracer. I've seen that actually work decently well in this map.
Anti-dives, yeah.
But I'm saying the defending team running dive, which can actually work fairly well if done properly. Looking at the lineup,
Stabby on the Doomfist, like always.
We're gonna see Stabby, our resident Doomfist main. With it looks like their Violent Tendencies is going to run a single tank. It looks like right now, with a triple DPS, abusing these tight corridors with Molochs on the Junkrat. Whereas Castillo looks like they're running a little dive off tank with the Diva and the Hammond. And they have basically like just a denial comp, it looks like.
It's gonna be difficult for Griffin to be able to heal some of these people though, with how scattered they'll be.
But with Moira having her orbs, that's definitely gonna become a major factor in this.
Yeah, it looks like it's a good start. Hopefully Karo can take good advantage of the fact that there's only one tank and be able to get some nice picks in.
A hack onto the Junkrat, but Cupcake is going to demag Zhao. And it looks like Castillo's already being pushed back to the flank.
Karo picks Stabby, however.
And that would be a big pick, but the res does come out with then Game Guy ending up taking out Griffin. Castillo has run out of their healers, and it looks like Violent's just going to be able to take over this point at this
but he can take... They took out Chubby.
Castillo does come in and starts picking up picks of their own.
Popping off. It's only two people on point. And then that's that. Carol saving the point with his nice shot.
A good switch onto the Lucio by Griffin. That Lucio healing is going to become a lot more beneficial from instead of Moira, because those orbs were on a cooldown, whereas Lucio's healing is able to... Lucio's abilities are able to just allow him to traverse this point so easily with all these different walls and high grounds.
Stabby now on the Genji. Looks like you're taking it right. They're going to try and avoid Kiro's sightlines, which is a nice idea. Huge mind by Govins.
The Hammond one trick strikes again with a massive mine.
Hog one trick turned Hammond one trick. Who would have guessed?
Okay, he's the Hog Hammond 2 trick now.
True. He's still harassing them with ball. Hero trying to.
I know. From the looks of this, it looks like Violent might have to push out of this room unless they can make some big plays. But a Diva Bomb comes in, forcing the Reinhardt to turn his shield. Not a lot of damage though pumped in, with Gubbins being taken out, and a Shatter comes in.
Violent just have a lot of ults. This might be the end of those. Carol's dropping down a point and trying to contest. Oh, drop back. Went back up. Stabby up there to contest.
And it looks like
Picks
Castillo is
Carol.
just going to give up this point. Griffin comes in to try and contest for a little bit longer, but he's going to be taken
DG
down
does have
so
EMP
quickly.
though, but they have no. They have mines. They have mines and EMP. They have mines and EMP. Oh, a huge charge by Chubby. Govin's just trying to contest for time. There's Shino back in the game. Going for a nice stall. Someone's backing out. He's still in. He pops the mines.
Mines come out. Junkrat, though, is going to take out the Hammond.
Griffin contesting point. Going for a 1-by-1 maybe.
And Castillo looks like they're just trying to stall for time at this point. They have to know that their fight is
force out
lost and
Tire.
might just be forcing out ults and trying to stall for as much time as they can.
They definitely did. They have Barrier, Blade, and Dragon Strike on the side of Violent. But DJ still has DMP, and Shino almost has his bomb. It's gonna... EMP bomb will be huge on the second point.
Violent Tendencies looking for an opening to get into this point, looking for the right moment to push in. Hammond is going to come in. Earthshatter comes out. Is going to take out the Hammond.
Dragon Strike
and
comes
Dragons
out.
comes in right down the middle. It's going to take out Griffin and give Violent the ability to just rush in. EMP comes out, massive EMP with a Diva Bomb coming in. It's gonna catch nobody though.
Unlucky. Comes the Blade coming up from Stabby.
Just the wrong angle.
Barrier in response. Karov's swapping the Tracer in order to contest. Valk is out, all ults are being popped at the moment. Mines does find two though. Goblin's getting big mines. Karov does find the Mercy, but does get picked by Hanzo. That game guy getting plenty of picks. Goblin's again with more mines.
And just a lot of ults came out into that fight, with ults still coming online. We've got a Tracer ult coming up. With Violent Tendencies, though, they are going... It looks like they are forced to push out. Violent Tendencies is going to have a Dragon Strike, a Riptire, and an Earthshatter going into this next fight. Stabby, though, switching over to the Brigette. It's going to add a little bit more healing into what Violent Tendencies already has.
Looks like they're going to go for Shatter or Tire this fight. That would definitely work. They have nothing to block, no shields to block the Shatter either. DJ Nell and the Genji.
Hammond dropping right into the middle of Violence team again, this time getting taken down by Morlocks. Shatter comes out on the side of Violent. It's going to catch the Diva.
They're up by 3 now. Goblin's coming in with Power Driver. He's gonna get huge mines again. Tire does come out. Goblin's does fall, and that's second point. Not a bad defense, considering 5-6.
And I gotta say though, Violent Tendencies definitely did a lot in that point. They knew when to push, but Castillo was holding them as best as they could, and they were doing a great job given that it was a 5v6.
That game guy getting plenty of picks on the Hanzo though. And it looks like Violent Tendencies does have a dedicated shot caller, as they are using ults when necessary. Like, you just see these nice ult combos coming out. Like, it looks like they really are putting an emphasis on teamwork in order to take these points.
Although, the way the playoffs work though, it's going to be the first 3 maps, which will win the match. And it looks like, if we look at the way these teams are setting up their lineups, it looks like Violent Tendencies is going to be running the Bastion Orisa comp, whereas Castillo is going to try and do, I want to say, a little bit of harassment. You've got the Widowmaker able to get some ranged damage, with the Genji being able to get around the back lines, and then Hammond and Roadhog. You wouldn't normally see those two together, but they could actually do a lot together, with the Roadhog going out of position and Hammond just popping people into the air, giving Widow and Genji the ability just to take them out very easily.
I'm expecting a swap for Diva for EMP bomb at this rate, because I don't believe that this comp will be able to put a dent in bunker, but who knows? Maybe they'll peek. While the other Petit is just completely out of the way.
Griffin is going to be taken
Griffin
down
falls
very
already.
quickly by Morlocks, leaving Castillo with no healing, and that's going to be the end of Joker as well.
It's very difficult.
It is very difficult to break through bunker comps. Really, the best way to do that is you run the Pharah or a Junkrat and just burst through that shield and just force them out of that position.
Oh, Kero does go for the flank. He does pick one.
Kero is going to take out Stabby, and has now possession of the high ground with Diva trying to assault him.
If they manage to pick that Bastion, that'll be huge. Ooh, Shino's getting nice hooks. They're splitting up the comp. That is just huge big ring plays. Karo's still poking. They're forcing him to retreat back to point, which is huge. These force that lamp too. Shino does fall, but it looks like it's a trade at this point.
And it looks like at least Castillo has done one of the most important things. They forced the Bastion onto the point. There's so many openings now for the Bastion to be forced.
Need to get rid of that.
Morlock is going to take down Joker though with his ultimate ability. And those
they do have her get the perk on the
high shells are going to be very powerful. Though the Bastion does get hooked, and he might be an easy target, but he's able to he gets bopped back with his team and behind the shield.
Oh, if he does get hooked again. He does.
And the Bastion is going to fall to the Roadhog. Hammond comes in and tries to do some disruption with the pile driver, but it's not going to be enough to force the team away.
Here comes the tire. Looks like it's going after Kuro.
Tire comes in, goes after the Hammond, actually.
I thought I tried to pick the Widow, but no.
Fight's going out on the point with an immortality field coming in to save his team. Stabby is going to take out Griffin, though.
They do have the blade now. And if they manage to force out the mortality field and then use the blade, it'll be huge. They have
Joker in a perfect position to use his Dragon Blade with Hammond right there next to him.
Here we go, onto the Bastion.
Immortality field is
it's out though. Can you get the Bastion?
Bastion does not fall and is able to walk away with
comes out though.
His life.
Picks Griffin.
Lucio going to fall to the Diva Bomb. And we have 1 minute left under this point. Can Castillo make this?
It's gonna be really close. It looks like setting up a point has actually really benefited this comp, as Kuro cannot get the really good sight lines that he used to with the flanks. Goblins is in the back with mines. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does. Well, he finds Sebastian maybe? No, he does not, sadly.
Sebastian's going to be able to escape again, but gets hooked and taken out, but Chubby is going to take out Shino instead, with Falcon getting a pick onto Joker and a res back onto that Bastion. Lucio tries to get in to do some last contesting with Morlocks taking him out. Hammond doing as much as he can to try and contest this point.
They do have one ult. Let's see what they can do with it. Govins is so low, however. I don't think he'll be able to stay up to grab his ult either.
And the Bastion popping his ult to try and keep Castillo away.
Finishes off
the massive amounts of damage, not really going to be able to be sustained by Castillo. And if Griffin falling, overtime clock starts to tick down, and Violent Tendencies takes first map.
Wasn't a bad game though. It definitely was close. Like, first point was close a few times, but this kind of started to fall apart. Goblin's getting play. This was just a great line.
Well positioned, and
he had him right where he wanted.
Pushing him right into the air did force those mines to really have their maximum amount of effectiveness.
7 minefield kills by Govins with 11 elims. Alright. Castillo does, however, have another healer now, so let's see what they do with the 636 instead. Can they turn this around?
I want to do this.
They're running a legal comp, correct?
Yes, they only have 2 masters, and I do not believe Vil is a masters.
Yeah, DJ. No, I don't think Vil's masters. Yeah. No, they do have one top 500. Diamond, plat, diamond, top 500, and then plat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's good. If I remember how it used to be, it's like 3100 now, correct?
It is 3100.
Yeah, they're within. Alright, let's see how they do in Hollywood with a 6v6.
The hybrid map. And from what I understand, a lot of people actually have mixed feelings about Hollywood. Because there's a lot of stuff that can work on this, but that first choke can be hard to push through if you're going against the right comp.
I always thought Hollywood was one of the better maps in this game.
I think of the
Like,
hybrid maps, though, the best one has to be King's Row.
Yeah. But yeah, hybrid maps are some of the better ones. But I mean, 2CP, we all know not to talk about 2CP.
Nobody likes to talk about 2CP.
Mm.
Payload maps are where it's at.
Payload maps are okay.
But both teams have given me the okay to start the match. Now, when it comes to Hollywood, I gotta say, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Pharah or a Widowmaker from either team.
I mean, it looks like Castillo loves the Widowmaker.
It's so common to see those Pharah and Widowmaker comps, just because these are such open points and a lot of high ground sight lines for Widowmakers, that you've got to take advantage of it when you can.
Ashe is also not too bad of a pick if you have a Mercy.
And I have to say, Mercy, it seems like it's starting to make a comeback, although a slight one.
With like sniper characters and like dive and all that making its comeback, yeah.
And it looks like we are going to see a Widowmaker on the side of Castillo.
Goblins on Reinhardt. Oof.
Not a normal thing you see from Gubbins. He normally doesn't play the main tank,
Griffin's
although I have seen his main tank, and it can be very powerful if he's given the openings. We are going to see, though, a May come out
Griffin
on the
is
side
a
of
very
Castillo
solid
as well.
Zarya. Griffin's just a very solid flex in general, but that's besides the point.
Whereas on the side of Violent Tendencies, we're going to see a little bit of a dive composition with a Winston Diva comp.
Once again, Chubby being solid main tank. That game guy.
Winston, though, being picked immediately by the Widowmaker.
Carol has a really aggressive poke spot right here. I wonder how he's gonna be able to gather this really quick. I'm curious. Looks like they're going for the right now.
Violent being forced to move through the right wall. Widowmaker already has sights.
Holy
Not
cow.
many openings for Violent Tendencies to really get in onto this fight. This Widowmaker is running just enough.
Now they dive on the Widow. Here they go.
The dive begins with Hero, though, getting a pick on the stabbing. Morlock, though, does take Griffin.
Rez does pick up Griffin, though. It's gonna be interesting. Double freeze on 2 people. And that looks like they get out.
Another
Kira
pick for
does find
Kira
Falcon.
onto the Zenyatta. Genji though rushes for the point. Rez out onto the Zenyatta with Kiro picking off Morlocks. Kiro though finally going to fall to Chubby the Winston.
Looks like Griffin's getting rushed.
Primal Rage comes out.
Bill does get the other Mercy. There can only be one. You need to get rid of the Steam Fist. And Bill's all alone. And
it looks like Violent is going to take this first point. Now I think the important thing that happened there was the Winston diving onto that Widow and stopping that pressure. Without the Widow there really wasn't much pressure on the supports and allowed Violent supports to just do what they needed to do to keep the team up.
Yeah, the aggression really ramped up from Violent the minute the Widow was killed. However, now they have a Pharah, and Violent has really nothing to contest that Pharah. The D.Va, but then Pharmacy, which won't be enough. Shino caught out of position, forced strands out. Gubbins does use Shatter, finds one. Comes Bomb, finds Shino. Griffin a little bit aggressive. Pops a blade, tries to hit Shino. Does find Shino though, and finds Gubbins. DJ
nice
just pick him.
Blade from the Genji.
Very nice blade. Falcon finds Joker. Carol panic barrages? Question mark? Fort Bill, she just accepts her fate. Saudi pushing up. Still the legendary Doomfist that he is. Now they're just like cleaning them up. It's not even Castillo just can't get out of spawn. Not getting a break.
Transcendence comes out from Violent Tendencies to just keep them up and force this payload right to the checkpoint.
Carol does find the Mercy, but Carol just doing everything they can to stay up. Both the McCree. DJ does pop High Noon, but finds nothing. I think that they need to do something about Shino getting picked a lot, like more protection for him. Gubbins getting really aggressive now. Gubbins does fall though. There's not a lot of healing to like support Gubbins' aggression either.
No, there isn't. Because what is actually happening right now is Violent Tendencies is pinpointing precise targets. They're keeping the healers at bay from Gubbins, which isn't allowing him to really pop off.
It looks like they're trying to deal with Stabby too at the moment with DJ and Asama. But I think the biggest problem right now is the fact that their dive is just destroying their supports. Nice barrage from Kuro and nice hunting from Morlocks.
A hack onto the D.Va is going to take out her defense matrix and in easy DMAC.
Yeah, nice pull from Gubbins to finish that. Oh wait, Griffin. Gubbins now on the Hog and Griffin now on Orisa. Looks like they swaps.
And it looks like Castillo is able to stabilize a little bit.
Yeah. Looks to be that they figured out the issues. They're able to give Shino good protection now, and Ville's able to stay alive too with Kuro if need be.
And that's one of the major benefits of running an Orisa Hog comp, is the Roadhog is able to pull certain people right into the middle of your team, whereas Orisa, with her ability to throw her shield without having to be with it, gives better protection to the supports and the rest of the team.
Savvy at this rate, however, is being hard countered by the Sombra, Orisa, and Hog at this rate. It's probably best for him to swap.
Joker looking for a EMP, it looks like. EMP comes down and causes the death of Falcon.
Gubbins does find Chubby.
A hook onto Stabby, and that's going to be at the end of him. Deadeye comes out, it's going to take out Kiro. And it looks like
Govin's
this
still on
payload is
point though.
going to continue to move. Earthshatter comes out. It's
Finds
going to be blocked.
nice shield placement by Griffin in order to block it. They have the barrage up again, and they do have trans in case of another big ult from Violent. Stabby gets picked again by being hacked again by DJ. They do have a soldier now. That's Savvy swaps to the Reaper. A good swap. Bill now on Ana. They don't really have too much of a dive comp anymore, so Bill can get away with hiding in the back. Huge, well not a huge sleep, but nice sleep by Bill.
No, Tendencies has realized that their dive composition isn't going to work anymore.
Oh,
now
look at this, there's a
Roadhog.
flank. Pocket Mercy Reaper flank on Bill. Hacks the Reaper.
OLOC is going to come out and force Violent Tendencies away from the point. Stabby though getting a pick on Deville. Barrage comes out, it's going to take out the Mercy, and the Reaper will fall.
Yeah, Mercy and Reaper both fell. It's getting a little bit hectic. Gubbins does find EMP comes out.
Big EMP
You need to get
hacking
that
everybody
Zen.
on the point.
He popped a lot of ults in order to hold that again.
But with 30
Bill
seconds
close to
left,
mana, they have both
it
support
might have
ults.
just been enough.
They do have bomb though. They do have bomb, which can make or break this fight here. Trans
It's going to be
cannot
the major
facilitate
deciding
for bomb.
factors. If the Sombra can get the hack on the Diva and they force the D-Mech.
There's the bomb. Nice hook by Gubbins. Just saves it. Tanks. Find Stabby already. Looks like this last point. Gubbins finds Morax. Nano on Gubbins. Here he goes. Huge whole hog by Gubbins. Just massive. And then
And with
Carol
that
cleans
barrage
up.
onto Falcon is going to end this push for Violent Tendencies.
Not a bad hold at all. They really figured out what was wrong later on, Castillo. And then Violent took too long to switch their comp because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The problem is that it broke.
And what was the major thing there was the switches onto Sombra and Roadhog. What that does is it causes dive comp to kind of fall apart because Roadhog's able to pull people in when they're not ready to dive in, and Sombra just locks out those abilities that dive just falls apart.
What I do notice is that on the side of Castillo, that there's not a lot of their members seem to be very aggressive. Like on certain characters, like Gubbins and Griffin on Ren and Zarya.
Oh, very much so, and I think that's because of the fact that they played with each other so much that they can learn how aggressive each other is going to be. But with being aggressive, there is a lot of drawbacks, as you're forcing yourself into the team fights a little too quickly at times, and without really any clear plan, the defending team might be able to just scratch out the defense.
Like, the synergy really does play a part, but you need to have the hero choices that also, like, can work off with the aggression. Because this going in by yourself leads, like, you know, Evil and Shino off on themselves, and if Shino decides to be in a really aggressive Zen and gets picked, then there goes a really valuable, like, hero. The Zen's probably one of the best.
We are going to see a Bastion, though, come out again from
Karo
Violent
does get
Tendencies.
picked. Shino does fall too. Stabby getting some nice picks in.
And what's going to happen now is that Castillo has to realize that that Violent Tendencies is running the Bastion, and what I feel needs to happen is that they might need to have a swap onto a Diva and just push themselves right under the low ground, right underneath where the Bastion is set up. A Diva or a Lucio is going to benefit from that a lot more and allow Castillo to really push into them.
Karo does find the Zen, and they huge anti by Vil. Holy cow. That took out a lot. Bastion, Zen's falls again. Vill's anti right there was just huge.
But with very few people being on the point for Violent Tendencies, being only a diva there, it looks like Castillo is just going to take advantage of this point, with Savvy though getting 2 picks.
That
it looks like Violent is now starting to push back in and retake this point.
If they retake the point, that'll be very depressing, guys. It should have been a 100% long fight.
Zen is going to be hooked and pulled.
Where Govins is nanoed. What can he do with the nano, though? It's questionable. Oh, they're making a comeback again. What a nice team fight. Look at the Mercy just hiding off the point. Baby Diva falls, and Mercy just needs to get out now. Oh, she goes for a last minute contest.
But is hacked and is unable to res.
So, as of right now, you got 3 ults on each side, but I believe that Castillo has the stronger combo with an EMP blade. Looks like they're keeping the bash.
EMP once again from Castillo though.
Yeah.
EMP comes out, is going to hack everybody it looks like, with a Dragon Blade coming in right away.
Karo does find 2. Bastion ult comes out. They need to get that Bastion. He was super low for a minute. Still low, actually. Nice sleep on the Diva.
And the Genji is going to be taken out.
Griffin's alone on point. Nope, Gubbins does come up to help. Looks like they push back together. Griffin just doing a little bit of poking.
Sombro going for a bit of a flank with Gubbins, it looks like.
Flank Hog once again returns. Then from his flank Hog. Oh, and a flank Zen. Maybe? No, Shino takes high ground.
Bob is going to come out right onto the point.
Is hacked. Flank Zen does come out.
Reinhardt gets pulled, but Diva comes to his aid. Earthshatter right on the point. It looks like it caught 2 maybe.
Nice ult by Chubby. Carol go Nano Blade from the side of Castillo.
Catching 3 and it looks like the 4th.
One of the
Mercy narrowly escapes.
The Violent popped way too many ults during that fight that was needed, and then so did Castillo. Castillo could have won that fight a lot more easier with just Nano Blade if it weren't for the fact that they decided to split off into 2 groups of 3 and making it like 3v6 on 2 fronts.
Hoha comes out from the side of Castillo with Kiro taking out 2. Well, demeching the Diva and taking out the Bastion.
Now maybe looking like easy pickings. We'll get to Anti and Lucio.
Kiro is also going to end up taking out Chubby. And the payload continues to move. Reaper going to fall. And Kiro embracing his inner ninja continues to just assault Violent Tendencies line.
Orange comes out from Shino. EMP comes out. Huge EMP once again. We did not see a blade though.
Diva Bomb is going to come in, and Dragon Blade comes out, going to take out the Diva.
Yeah, but he doesn't find anything else with the blade though, sadly. It probably would have been better to save that for another team fight, because this one is pretty much lost.
Oh, the stagger on the Gubbins. Castillo is going to have to regroup a little bit.
Violent does have the better ulti comedy in this situation. But they do have Nano, Whole Hog, which is a pretty good combo in its own right. Here comes the Nano Blade.
Bastion popping his ult.
With the double damage boost though. Chubby does go for the shatter, but it finds nothing, sadly.
And that supercharger did its work and just put out enough damage.
Here
Dragon Blade
comes the
comes out
blade coming
once
out again.
again.
That was like a 30-second blade.
And Castillo takes him out too.
Nice play by Castillo. Play of the game from that game guy. That game guy has been doing very well on the Diva. $34%. One more. Somebody. There you go.
And our third map is going to be Lijiang Tower, which I really believe that we might see Gubbins Hammond again. Especially if we
You
see
might.
the gardens come out.
I believe we're gonna see. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see the Hammond on all maps. That's my headcanon.
Yeah, I think that is a very good bet.
Seriously, he's just. I don't see a reason why not to run Hammond on all those maps.
But
Boot
if we look at this,
places.
if we look at the way that both teams have been playing right now, I think Violent Tendency's best chance of winning is they need to definitely take out Shino and Vil as soon as possible if they're playing the supports. You cut off, and because I always say it, if you cut off the healing, then the rest of the team is just going to fall.
They definitely have to run their dive comp in this situation, like, or brawl.
Well, with what Castillo's been running,
There's
I don't think dive is really going to work against them. If you look at it, Castillo has run the Sombra twice now, and have run the Roadhog twice now, and what that's done is it's just blocked off dive compositions and protected the supports.
this is a lot more close quarters, however, so it'll be a lot more difficult for DJ to get those hacks off on, let's say, Stabby, as Stabby's one of the more bigger threats on the Doomfist.
I think that this match is going to definitely come down to which team gets the more important pick right off the bat. Is once that first pick is decided, I think this match is going to be fairly well decided.
Alright, let's see what happens.
We are going to see a swap though with Tap coming in for Nixon.
Yeah.
Make sure. I trust he's on the roster. I just want to make sure. Yep. But although with this swap coming in though, I think that Violent Tendencies they may. It's hard to say which team is going to take Lijiang Tower. These assault maps are, or not assault. These control maps are fairly balanced when it comes to map selections.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
It definitely will. Although I think the biggest players we're gonna have to watch for is definitely Stabby and Gubbins again. I think they're gonna be the two biggest factors when it comes into these maps. As well as Chubby and I want to say Kiro. because all four of them have been definitely proving to be massive forces on both these teams.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on Violent Tendencies to be ready. But so far, though, I have to say, I feel like this match is going the way I thought it was gonna be, where it was actually fairly close, even with the 5v6 scenario. Castillo
Yeah.
still put up a very strong fight to keep those points. Like it wasn't as one-sided as you would think a 5v6 would be. And now that they have all six, they're really showing what their force is. So I don't think any of these matches are really going to be very one-sided.
Yeah.
And with both teams ready, let's go into Li Jiang Tower.
Good. I'm expecting to see more of a brawly style comp in this scenario.
You definitely see a lot more brawl style comps, and our first map is going to be the Li Jiang Gardens, which I'm almost certain we're going to see a Hammond at least from one of these teams.
And if there's a Hammond, I riot.
But you also will see both these teams probably pushing through that back door, as Lucio's and Vara's are very prevalent in gardens with that massive environmental area on those bridges going into this point.
You
Really,
could definitely see a Pharah on this map.
I wouldn't also
Pharah
be
is not a
surprised to
bad pick at
possibly
all.
even see an Ashe. Bob's contestability can be very powerful late into these matches.
And there is a ball from Chubby. And Gubbins is not on ball, and I'm very disappointed. There's a Pharah from Stabby, and DJ's on the Doomfist, surprisingly.
So it looks like we're gonna actually see it, more of a bunker style comp coming from Castillo, whereas when it comes to Violent, they're running more of a semi-dive style with the Mercy, Lucio, the Hammond,
They're
the
definitely running a
Diva.
dive. It's a weird comp run on this map, like from Castillo. I'm curious to see how it would work.
Hammond immediately rushes in though.
Violent running a very solid comp though. For sure.
Castillo pushing through the back door, seeing that they have the Pharah and the Lucio. They don't want to push onto that bridge.
Looks like they're gonna really take advantage of this burst healing from Shino and Bill in order to take this point. Taploader and Falcon just can't keep up with that amount. Just Batista and Ana both heals for a lot. Stabby immediately swaps to Doomfist, probably to contest DJ. Assert his dominance.
And Violent Tendency is immediately making swaps onto different picks right now. They
Falcon
see
now on the
that
warrior.
Castillo is running bunker and they have to up their damage output.
Oh, looks like we're gonna rush straight into the bunker for Ryan Zarya comp, which is not a bad idea at all. Honestly, I believe that they could probably get past this if Stabby takes a good flank spot as Doom. Never mind. Holy cow. We'll get a nice anti on Stabby. But Stabby does find Shino though. In there hitting them from behind.
And Tapwater
does fall
taking
from
down Tapwater.
Looks like they traded though. Bill's gonna have to rush to get back, and Tapwater's gonna be able to get back there first. So there goes a little bit of healing that they had. We see a blade from Violent, but it looks like we're gonna see a nano blade from Castillo. Stab, no healers at the moment.
Supercharger's gonna
There
come
goes
out
the
with
Nano
both
Blade.
blades being popped.
Carol finding 2 picks. And Morrick's finding Bill. Not a bad blade at all.
It looks like Castillo is just taking over this point right now.
That bunker comp is really working in their favor. Looks like we're seeing a Junkrat now, which will probably outspam them now. I have faith in the Junkrat. Stabby does have Meteor Strike. Maybe he'll get Vil with it.
Reinhardt though, 50% up to a Shatter, and that Shatter might be a deciding factor as for Violent Tendencies to be able to take this
Governance finds Stabby. Governance getting solid picks. That game guy finds Joker. High charge, maybe a Graviton? Gets picked, sadly. Nice sleep from Bill on Morux. And they just need to get that out of Lucio, which is cleaning up.
And Castillo.
Chubby does come back though.
The Hammond comes in to contest as Castillo just about took that point.
Is anybody else gonna make it back? Nope.
And Castillo is going to take the Gardens.
Nice shot from Castillo. Very interesting caught to say the least. If there isn't a ball from Govins on this point, I will riot.
Control Center is definitely where you won't necessarily see the Pharahs anymore. This is generally where you'll start to see Widowmakers and even Bastions and Torbjorns sitting up under these points.
Looks like we're seeing double AoE from Violent. Ryan Ball. Actually, triple tank 2 healers with a Doom. That's an odd comp. Vil now on the Moira. That's the only swap that they made. Wait, Chubby now on Diva. Looks like they're running goats. Goats indeed.
And this is where the raw styles really start to come in. They need to start really pushing into Castillo and force this bunker out.
Goats will definitely be able to power through this comp that Castillo's running. Nice idea from Violent. Govins cannot burst through this himself.
Violent Tendencies takes over that point. Will we see swaps come out from Castillo? We're gonna see the Ana come out. But it doesn't look like Castillo is really swapping anything up. Instead they switch over to the Pharah.
They have a Pharah now too, yeah. Violent does have Shatter Bomb though, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Huge hook by Govins. Too bad it's not active on. They do have a rally which allows them to get really aggressive.
Massive
Huge
Shatter.
Shatter by Morlex. Very nice job. Tap water finding plenty.
That's going to give Violent just the openings they need to take 3 picks in that.
Joker just not able to find what he needs. I really do believe that we might have to see a counter go from Castillo in order to break this. Finds Chino and Griffin.
A charge
does come out, though.
Chubby into the... Or not Chubby,
just so much aggression. Just nothing Castillo can do. Galvin swaps the ball.
Bill starts to try and take the point, but she is caught before able to start percentage onto the point. Castillo really needs to make some swaps now, or else they're not going.
Here comes the Dragon.
It's going to be very hard for them to break through that Goat's composition.
Griffin going around with Govins.
Supercharger is going to come out from Griffin, allowing massive amounts of damage. With Joker getting
finds 2
with his barrage.
It's definitely winnable at this stage.
And Castillo looks like they're going to start to be able to take over this point. Only one's left on point, and it's the Brigade.
It's gonna be a lot harder for Violence Ghosts to have this sort of impact again now. However, Chubby's bomb, if he throws it correctly, will be able to take out Joker no matter what. If he stays up in the air. Stabby's so low already.
He's able to escape. Diva Bomb comes in.
Here comes the bomb.
It's going to take 3!
3! Huge pick.
A massive bomb might just give enough space for Violent Tendencies to make a massive comeback and to get back into this match.
Gubbins to 7 lines again. We're gonna see you get huge picks. Looks like barely any.
Chubby going to take out Gubbins, and the overtime clock ticks down. A massive shatter stops Castillo from getting to the point.
Helden sterben nicht.
Now going into this last map, Night Market, Castillo needs to make swaps to combat the Scout's composition, which we are going to see the swaps come in. We're going to see a Junkrat Pharah and a Baptiste come in. Rather than trying to run an anti-Goats comp, they're trying to run more of a burst damage comp. With the Baptiste being able to use his immortality field, it's going to block off a lot of the damage, but you can destroy that immortality field.
If the Goats has enough focus fire, then the Baptiste won't make too much of a difference. However, the Pharah will be a lot more solid on this map though, so we'll see what happens.
Gubbins immediately able to take a presence onto the point.
Chino does find Stabby though.
Lines,
huge pick.
Although
Griffin has his little spot.
Able to take their massive presence with the Castillo starting to come in. Charge from Reinhardt gets him out of position, and Kiro takes out Chubby with a barrage, taking out
barrage
one.
Already.
And it looks like Castillo might be able to take this point. Hero on this Pharah is definitely proving to be a massive disturbance for Violent Tendencies. A Coalescence comes out from Stabby on the side of Violent, and it's going to allow 2 to fall. Make that 3. Griffin falls as well with no tanks. Castillo really doesn't have any defense.
Kiro almost has barrage up again. Will not make a comeback. They are split.
Pharmacy coming in from Kiro and Vil to try and keep this point.
Kiro does find Stabby. Vil does fall though. Kiro needs to get out.
Kiro does push out, and it looks
Gubbins
like
comes in. He has mines.
Trying to keep this point as best they
Kiro
can.
does pop out.
A barrage is going to take out the Pharah.
Griffin does fall though.
Reinhardt though is taken massively out of position, but it doesn't matter as Violent Tendencies does take this point.
Still a lot of percentage. They do have Tire, plenty of Vulture on each side, Shatter Bomb from Violent, and that will be a huge combo. Chino can overblock it with Immortality. And then that game guy can clean up with Grab if he has to.
Diva Bomb comes in. It's going to take out only the Supercharger, but Gubbins' mines are going to take out Tapwater with Kiro taking out actual Falcon. Supercharger is going to come in though from Castillo.
Yeah.
And it looks like Castillo is taking over this point once again, using a few ults though in the process. However, on the side of Violent Tendencies, they have 3 ults coming into this, whereas Castillo really only has 2. If Gubbins is able to charge up this mines though, it could be a deciding factor in them keeping this point. Violent Tendencies waiting for their moment to start to push in.
They're going for another barrage.
Going to take out 2. They're Joker taking
It
out
looks like this may be in
Bathwater
favor of
and
this Castillo.
Stabby.
Falcon going for the last minute contest.
Ariz onto Kiro. With Falcon onto the point to start the contest and start the overtime clock.
Yeah. And it looks like that is it.
And
Castillo wins.
is going to take map number 3. In order
Which
to win the
leaves us
series,
what?
Castillo needs to win one more map. Which, let me see exactly which map we are going into.
Very nice play.
And possibly our last map of the series is going to be Dorado.
Escort to finish it all. Nice.
Now, Dorado is a very high ground heavy map. You see a lot of Widowmakers, Ashes, and Hanzo on this map. And you see it a lot from both the attackers and defenders, as Widowmaker especially is able to have a lot of sight lines onto these points. Whereas, but the defenders, I think, in the very end, actually end up having the advantage coming into this. With that, going into that last checkpoint, that U-turn is so hard to push through. It's definitely going to be a very close match, no matter what happens. Neither team has really given the other team any decisive. Each team has. I don't know how I'm trying to put this. It's not as decisive as it looks. Both teams are playing incredibly well. It's just there's certain pieces, very minor mistakes that each team is just taking advantage of when those occur.
Violent tendencies could definitely grab this point.
And if they do, I'm just going to go to our last control map, which, let me see what it would be if we are forced to a map 5.
However, Ball is really good on this map, so maybe we'll see Gubbins and Ball again. Hell, maybe even Chubby on Ball again. It's always fun watching Ball.
And Violent Tendencies does have the ability to take this map. And if we end up going to a map 5, it's actually going to be Oasis that we're going to go to. With, once again, you've got those, it's very Widow-heavy maps. Unless you go into University. Whereas that's where you tend to see more of the raw compositions. But coming into Dorado, we actually have Gubbins on the Hammond, with Griffin still remaining on the Orisa, as well as a Widow and Ash from Castillo, whereas on the side of Violent Tendencies, we're seeing Soldier, as well as Triple... Thought it was Triple Sport, it's actually going to be Soldier Doomfist again.
Chubby not on tank for once, though.
Chubby instead actually on the Mercy, which could be just a slight change that they need. Hammond jumps into
There goes Stabby
middle
already.
with an anti-nade, and Kiro taking the first pick onto Falcon.
Gubbins almost has his mind already.
Doing his thing of assaulting the entirety of the team as Hammond.
It looks like Stabby is having trouble. Kiro does
Mine's gonna come out. Reinhardt, though, being the ultimate minesweeper, swings around the point. Chubby is, though,
Gubbins finds Chubby.
Griffin
finds that game guy.
Castillo is still going to hold this.
Savvy pushing by himself, coming up behind, looking to
Griffin
get a pick
drops
maybe?
to try and take out Stabby. Stabby, though, looks like he is long gone.
Savvy does find Chino though, which is huge.
But is going to find one. And with the Orisa and the Ana away from the point, it looks like it's given by the tendencies a little bit of ground.
Violent's not taking advantage of his grab that. Stab you right across. Nice pull by Griffin, and it'll just stop that. Griffin getting blitzed though and rushed. So it needs to be nice pick from Chubby on Bill. Ball comes out from back game guy too.
And the tactical visor comes out from Falcon. Able to take down the immortality field, but is going to be taken down by Gubbins.
Falcon kills himself with Helix, I believe.
Although Violent Tendencies
Mine comes out again.
To remain in this fight. Reinhardt continued to push the
Marks
payload
got
until
cut
Mines
off.
came out and was kind of blocking him in. Bill is going to take down Morlock. So the meteor strike coming up from Stabby.
Looks like they're rushing Bill. Poor Bill.
And
I will
it looks
take
like
Violent is going to take this
first point.
A very solid play from Violent. Nice decision making by that game guy in order to rush down Bill.
And we see the sights come out from Tapwater. And a pick onto Kiro. Going to give Violent Tendencies a little bit of ground coming into this. We've got the payload continuing to move, which looks like the DPS are continuing this payload's moving, whereas the tanks are just constantly assaulting the front lines of Castillo, keeping them at bay and not giving them much room to fight in. We are going to see, though, Castillo coming up with a few ults of their own. They've got the Hammond ult coming in, as well as a Amplifier Matrix with a Supercharger and Bob himself. Matrix comes out.
Violent just snowballing. Nice block from
Griffin.
Nice shadow block. Very solid.
Although Gubbins is going to fall, Bill is going to take out Morlocks. With Steel having it now up by 3, I believe Tendencies is going to have to pull back out of this one. Mines comes out right in the middle. It's going to deal some damage, but it's going to go relatively unaffected.
Soldier playing high ground.
Stabby taking down Bill. With Soldier yet
You need
being
to
on
get
the
that
high
soldier.
ground.
All of them escape. And Carrie will make sure to that. Type this come out from.
Going to fall. Bob comes out onto the point. Hammond going to be taken out by Bob, and it looks like Steel is still going to hold this point for the time being. Roadhog coming in, taking a hook onto Hero. As well as a hook onto the Ash, and taking out Joker. Violent Tendencies looking like they might be able to take the upper hand in this one. Hammond assaulting the point and rolling around it. Hook onto Gubbins though. And Hanzo taking out Baptiste, where Kiro takes out their Baptiste. Tapwater though returns the favor with a headshot onto Kiro.
Will does res Kiro though.
And checkpoint number 2
but the point is taken again. Violent really making a turnaround this attack.
Not really wanting to give up at this point and lose their chance in the playoffs.
Of course. They do have a pick too.
Gubbins switches off the Hammond and actually goes to the Roadhog. Hero switches off the Widow and actually switches off to Hanzo. Now,
nice pick on a nice hook on the hog.
I want to see where this house is going to go, because normally in 1v1 scenarios, the Widow normally beats the Hanzo in the sniping battle with her ability to have a hit scan.
However, though, Hanzo does have a faster rate of fire than a Widow, though. You have to keep that in mind. And with Storm Arrow, it could make or break it, too.
Roadhog coming in with
Tracer pushing
Sonic
the point.
Arrow, showing the sight of almost everybody on Tendencies. Deadeye comes out. It's not going to catch anybody, but Griffin is going to fall to Chubby as well as Gubbins.
Shino out of position though and gets caught. Chubby preparing.
Actually going into a 6 DPS comp, really pumping out that damage.
What an interesting comp. And the worst part is that it seems to be working a little bit.
But the downside of running this kind of comp is you don't have the healing. You have to rely on the payload to use the healing, meaning that the team is going to be stuck on that payload. Bob comes in.
And also maybe that they're just throwing the game. I mean, honestly.
Bob
DJ getting a huge bob. Top water flanking though. It was taken out by DJ sadly. Would have been a nice flank. And they got time for one more push. Let's see if this 6 DPS comp bores any fruit. Yeah, let's see if this comp bores any fruit.
Hero going to take a pick onto that guy, as well as taking a pick onto Stabby. Whereas Joker takes out
Morlock is going
to take out Kiro, but it looks like Castillo is going to hold this point and stop the payload right where it sits.
I really wondered what prompted him to like throw this game. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't know if they intentionally did it. I think what they tried to do was they realized they weren't putting out enough damage and too many people switched and they didn't realize it until it was already too late.
That could be the case. I mean, it just like, it doesn't sound right for them to like to throw the game like that, you know? They definitely had like a high amount of chance of winning that. But if they run that 6 DPS comp again, then I don't know what to say.
But coming into this, I think, I do still think, though, Violent Tendencies does have the ability to pull through this map and force into a map 5.
Oh, definitely.
Because they were able to push the payload very, very far.
I know, with their nice comp.
Let's see what the lineups are going to be. It looks like they're going to run Torbjorn. Looks like they're going to run the Brigette and the Reinhardt this time, with a quad DPS with Torbjorn, Reaper, Tracer, and Symmetra. Those turrets are definitely going to be a massive presence in the defense here, because those turrets are just going to lock right onto the enemy, and without Castillo running a Zarya, it's going to go relatively unpunished, for the most part.
I believe the chances are high for Castillo as quad DPS with only break heals is, in my opinion, not the best.
If a brawl does start to come out, Brig really could make a massive presence when it comes to the healing capability.
Maybe. Morlock's going for a charge.
A nice charge from the Morlocks. If Joker though taking out Falcon, a sleep dart onto Morlocks doesn't cause him to die, instead it just causes him to stay away for a little bit.
Morlocks runs away.
Still going to move.
Looks like they're gonna come back around. They do swap out the Symmetra though. Chubby swaps to Hanzo, and Morlocks is going all the way to spawn. He gets healed, and looks like he swaps to Genji, and it looks like they're back to 6 DPS.
Theo just continuing to have this payload moving forward.
Falcon swapping to Lucio though. Need to get rid of the Lucio. Nicely by Bill.
Hanzo comes in to try and contest as best as he can, but it's not going to be enough. Hero taking out a double snipe. Still looking for where Violent Tendencies is going to be setting up for this defense. Stabby is going to be taken down by the Ashe, though. Tapwater taking out Griffin, with Joker taking out that guy. A nice trade from both teams.
Indeed.
The payload, though, unhalted in its pursuit towards the end. Dragons comes out right onto the point. Assume Joker, though, going to take out the Lucio.
Turns comes out from Chino.
Castillo.
And then he get that Genji. Bill.
And it looks like Castillo is going relatively unstopped in their pursuit.
No. This build ain't stopping at all. Chino grabbing two. Need to get rid of Chubby,
doing his best to try and contest the Widowmaker, but with Ashe coming in, he's not going to be able to last very long. Genji's going to fall, as well as Chubby. And the payload reaches its second checkpoint with 5 minutes on the clock.
Looks like Shino's going for the cleanup. We don't need to push it very far now. Tapwater does find DJ though.
2 picks for Castillo, with Tapwater taking out Joker and Stabby taking out Shino.
Nice sweep by Bill
Stabby
again.
is going to be taken out, and Griffin takes out the turret, but is going to be taken out by Falcon. Chubby takes out Gubbins, and it looks like only Ana is left on point. Tech Visor comes out, is going to take out Widow, with Tapwater taking out the Ana, and with Falcon running that Tech Visor right at that main door, Castillo doesn't push in.
Joker finds 2 picks though.
And that might just be enough opening for Castillo to really make their massive push. Bob comes in,
ready
to do something.
He is coming behind though.
Oh, it looks like Castillo is just going to run this point right to victory
Tapwater
for them.
Joker.
Genji comes in though as the contest. Last-ditch effort to try and keep that point contested. Tapwater taking out two, but Castillo just almost reaches that point. Tapwater coming in, and Castillo caps the last point and takes the series.
Nice job. Gubbins getting play.
Anyway, though, we need to decide, though, our MVPs of the match. Look, this match, though, was very good, though.
So, I think I have 2 for each. I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
No, you.
I had 2 for Castillo, but for Violent, I don't know who I would do.
Nah, how about you name your 2 for Castillo?
For Castillo, I gotta say it would either be Gubbins or Kiro, honestly. Kiro had those
Yeah, I
massive
would have.
blades, but Gubbins was just such a massive presence.
Yeah, I was looking at Gubbins, Kiro, and Vil actually. I was actually going to go with Kiro and Vil. Vil mainly because of how solid she was playing with her anti-nades and sleeps, if you were looking at all.
She was. What about for violent tendencies, though?
Morlex, his Ryan play was... Mm. And then that game guy, he was definitely holding his own on the Hanzo, on Hollywood, and definitely Temple.
Well, I think we can agree that Gubbins then earns Castillo since we both thought of him.
Okay.
But I'll let you decide who you think violent should be.
Uh, Morlex. Definitely Morlex.
Alright
Or
then.
Morlux. I don't
Well,
know how to pronounce his name. Don't kill me more.
congratulations to Gubbins and Morlocks for our MVPs of this match. And this is the Froligatron and Dark Train. Thanks for watching.
Yep.